Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really exciting. We are peeling back the layers of literally the world's most famous classified mystery. We're looking at a patch of the Nevada desert that exists squarely in reality, yet, it occupies this space in our minds that borders on pure science fiction. We're gonna take the highly documented cold hard historical records, and we're putting them right up against the explosive whistleblower claims that turned Area 51 into an absolute global phenomenon. So let's dive right into the enigma. For decades, we, the public, have been forced to navigate this profoundly blurry line. On one side, you have documented military history, and on the other, sensational whistleblower claims that spread like wildfire. Now, our goal today isn't to just recklessly speculate. We want to look at the exact source material that shaped this entire legend. So, you gotta ask yourself, how much of the Area 51 legend is actually true? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at the timeline. We are looking at a massive, decades-long investigative saga here. It's not just one isolated event. We start with absolute reality in 1954, when the CIA established the base. Then, we hit a massive cultural inflection point in 1989 with a leak that completely shattered the facility's secrecy. And finally, we'll examine a staggering scientific development in 2013 that somehow unexpectedly circled right back to those 1989 claims. As you'll see, the story of Area 51 is this constantly evolving puzzle. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the 1954 origins. Here is the literal, undeniable historical foundation of that Nevada base. On November 26, 1954, the CIA officially set up shop. Under Director Allen Dulles and his assistant, Richard Bizzle, a deeply, deeply classified initiative was born. They called it Secret Aquatone. Think about the paranoid context of the 1950s Cold War for a second. The US government absolutely required an incredibly isolated, totally secure testing ground that was completely shielded from international eyes. And what exactly was Secret Aquatone actually protecting? Well, the base's original factual purpose was dedicated to the top secret U-2 mission. The U-2 high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft was just a massive technological leap for American intelligence at the time. And this fact anchors us firmly in terrestrial reality. Those armed guards, the restricted airspace, they weren't designed to hide the unknown. They were hiding advanced, but entirely human military aviation from foreign adversaries. Fast forward a bit, Section 2, the 1989 whistleblower. On May 12, 1989, everything completely changed. Investigative reporter Dennis Knapp aired this absolutely explosive interview featuring a man named Bob Lazar, who presented himself as a senior physicist. Lazar claimed he had been actively working on deeply classified projects right there within the confines of the Area 51 complex. But listen, this wasn't talk of spy planes anymore. He brought forward assertions that literally rewrote the entire public narrative of the Nevada desert. Now, here's the absolutely crucial detail regarding the geography of Lazar's claims. He didn't say these anomalies were just parked out on the main runways. He drew a really stark contrast. He said there was the known Area 51 military base, sure, but then there was a deeply hidden, highly compartmentalized sector he called S4. According to his testimony, S4 was an underground wing literally carved into a mountainside, and it was heavily insulated even from standard classified operations. Which brings us to Section 3, inside the S4 facility. Okay, so what exactly did Lazar claim was inside S4? Lazar's claims were just an overwhelming departure from U-2 spy planes. Inside S4, he alleged the government was housing an alien spacecraft dating all the way back to 1947. He explicitly described reverse engineering alien motherboards, gravity propulsion systems, antimatter reactors, and multiple flying saucers and disks housed in interconnected hangar bays. I mean, he was listing radical technologies that fundamentally violated the known laws of human physics. At the absolute core of his 1989 testimony was a singular, mind-bending concept: reverse engineering the unknown. The claim wasn't just that the US government was hiding non-human technology, it was that they were painstakingly trying to take it apart and backward engineer the mechanics for human application. And honestly, whether you completely buy into his claims or not, this specific narrative framework permanently altered the global perception of Area 51. Now we reach Section 4, the element 115 mystery. This number right here, 115. This is where this story shifts from just being an anecdote to a highly specific, testable scientific assertion. Lazar stated that those antimatter reactors he saw required a fuel source that simply did not exist on the known periodic table back in 1989. He called it element 115. And for decades, critics pointed to this highly specific, supposedly fictitious element as the absolute ultimate proof that his whole story was just pure fantasy. But then, we hit 2013, and this is a massive twist. In 1989, remember, we had a whistleblower, widely mocked for claiming element 115 powered spacecraft. Well, in 2013, a team of brilliant scientists in Moscow officially synthesized and discovered element 115. Decades after the scientific community laughed the element off as pure fiction, actual terrestrial science caught up and proved that element 115 does in fact exist. It was a game changer that forced everyone to totally reevaluate the source material. Which really leaves us staring at the ultimate question, doesn't it? If a whistleblower in 1989 was actually right about a completely undiscovered scientific element, literally decades before the world's top scientists found it, what else from his list is true? We've traced the facts from the very real CIA origins of secret Aquaton all the way to the stunning scientific reality of 2013. Now, we aren't here to endorse the claims, but we absolutely have to acknowledge a verifiable puzzle when we see one. Because when it comes to government secrets and the very edges of scientific discovery,